Hello, future doctors. My name is Mijidi Wari. I'm the Canadian IMG, and so I made a previous video about how I studied for the COMP exam, which is the Comprehensive Basic Science exam. Then that's a precursor to the actual test, which is USMLE Step 1. I just wanted to make this video to tell you guys exactly how I studied for Step 1, what was my schedule, and again, this is all based on my experience and not, it was based around what I read online, the information I gathered, what worked for me. So you guys definitely should do your own research as well, see what works for you, and have an idea and a plan before going to your dedicated study period. Okay? So, as with any test, again, it starts off from the beginning. So we want to start off with our basic sciences. So when you start off in your first semester or your second semester, you want to start doing, flashcards, going over first aid. The ones I would recommend are, Anki flashcards, and you do it with, something like Zenki, Bros. There's a lot of new ones out there now, but you should just do your own research and see which one works for you. The one that has seen good results and everybody knows about this one is Zenki. Now Bros, it's a little bit older, but I think it's still a lot of good information. And again, of course, you can make your own flashcards with Anki and use those instead. Other than that, there's other flashcard services, like I think Firecracker, I think USMLE RX offers their own flashcard services as well. But, those aren't the best, okay? The purpose of this is, one, you're never going to forget your knowledge base if you keep going up and if you're reviewing it almost every day. So that's the flashcard, okay? The next step is you want to be doing some sort of secondary question bank before you go into your dedicated period, okay? I want to emphasize I use RX and Kaplan. Kaplan came after. I really enjoyed using USMLE RX, and when I compared it to the Kaplan question bank, I felt like it provided me with a lot more information and it guided my learning a lot better than Kaplan did. Now USMLE RX, it follows first aid, so that's why I felt like it was a really good resource. The whole purpose of these two question banks is so you have that basic science, the basic stuff, all those little factoids mastered before you go into your dedicated period. So, we've done our Anki cards, we've done our USMLE RX, and while we're doing those, while we're going through our basic sciences, we want to go over Boards and Beyond, we want to go over Petoma, and we want to watch Sketchy when necessary. Now, obviously these resources, sometimes they don't work for everybody. I personally liked all three of these, especially Boards and Beyond and Petoma. Sketchy, the micro videos, I really liked. I never watched the pathology videos, and I really enjoyed some of the pharmacology, okay? And of course, our big book that everybody uses is First Aid, whatever year you are at. So mine was, I think, 2016 or 2017 First Aid. So you guys would use probably 2018, 2019, 2020, depending on when you're watching this video. Now, we finished all that. We've gone over First Aid at least once. And now we're in our dedicated period. Now, depending on the type of person you are or the type of school you're going to, you're going to get a variety of time lengths for when you should, how much time you have during your dedicated period. So you should base your plan around how much time you have. Now, if you have a limited amount of time, you want to go through as many UWorld questions as possible. Now, my plan was to do 120 questions per day at the minimum. Now, when you start off, that's going to be really tough. You're going to have a lot of trouble. You're not going to be doing too well on the UWorld questions, or maybe you are going to be doing well because you've done all this prep already. But you want to still go through all those questions because it's, one, helping you prepare. And I did timed random, okay? Now, this is depends on the individual. Some people even do UWorld before they go into dedicated. But for me, I did timed random, 120 questions per day at the minimum. And then as I got further and further into my dedicated, I was able to do more and more questions per day. And so you do that, you make notes, You learn from the U-rolled explanations, you read everything, you understand why every option is wrong, what you could have done to choose the right option, and that's how you learn every day a little bit more. And you build up on the previous knowledge from the USMLE RX, from the Anki, the first aid, from your basic sciences, until you have pretty good understanding. During this whole time, you want to be doing either NBMEs or U-rolled sims. And for me, NBME, I believe 18 and U-rolled simulation number 2 were the most accurate representation of my score on the real thing. Okay, so I would say maybe those two for closer to the end. I mean, by this time there might be newer NBMEs out that are more accurate anyway. So you've done all that, you finished your U-rolled questions, now it's time to review. So you want to, 1, do your incorrect and U-rolled again, or do all your marked questions. Then after that, you can reset the question bank and go over all the questions again, just so you have the timing down, or you want to keep your mind sharp for the questions. Now, once you're in your review period, you're obviously going to be able to do a lot more questions than 120. Sometimes I got, I think I could do 200 or 200 plus questions per day when I was in my review stage. And while you're reviewing, you could always refer back to some of your basic science slides from your own school. Like, I think I just really liked our anatomy lectures back in ROS. So I refer to those whenever I had some sort of anatomy questions that was obscure and I didn't remember it anymore. And it's just as simple as that. And you want to have a game plan before you go in. On the actual day of the test, you want to have a good idea what's going on, have some food prepared, and go in confident. You prepared all this, you did your studying, and you're going to do great. And just rely on the fact that you did great on your practice tests, your U-rolled sims, you did all your questions, and you're prepared. All right? So that's how I study. Okay? I wish you all good luck, and hopefully I will make more videos. And the next one, I think I will be talking about how I studied for the surgery shelf and how I did well in my surgery core. All right. Thank you guys for watching.